Let's now continue with our discussion. The method 1 of inventory evaluation is first in, first out. It is also known as original cost method. In this system, the materials first received are issued first, and the materials from the second lot are issued only when the first lot is exhausted. Prices are charged at the cost at which the lot was purchased. This is important. And the question is how much is the value of the remaining quantities? How much are the value of the remaining quantities? So here we are talking about FIFO. So let us now discuss FIFO here. This spreadsheet is also uploaded for your consideration. So now we have here the purchase date, January 1, February 1, price per unit, and the quantities purchased. Now, based on our example, at the warehouse, the count is 1,200 units, the remaining one. And so they sold 600 units. For our case, the cost of goods sold is not our problem. This really is the cost of goods sold, the 600. It goes to the accounting department. What is important is how much inventory is left with us. How much inventory is left. So that is the 1,200 units is left at the warehouse. What is the value of this 1,200? So since we are using FIFO, what that means is that when we sold 600, we sold this first, 200, and then 300, and 100. So basically, that is the one that were sold. And these are the ones that are left. So if we are now going to count or to compute for the amount of items still on the warehouse, then we have to multiply 4.5 times 200, 5.5 times 6, and 6 times 400. So basically, we will have this amount, 900, 3,300, and 24. You see? 600 times 5 or 400, like that. And the total value, all of this is 660. Because you see, from here to here, this is sum of I-24 to I-26. If you do a press F2, see this? So this 6,600 would be the value of the stock inside the inventory. Now, let's say you sold 550. So if that is 550, how much would be the remaining ones? If 550, the remaining ones would be 1,250, the ones that are remaining. Because what happens is that 550, you sell this first 200 plus 300, that's 500 plus 50. So basically, there is a split now. The purchase order number 3 is now split into 3A and 3B. One goes to be sold and one stays. And so we have here 250, 900, 3,300, and 240. We add this together, we'll have this. All right, I-37 to I-40. That's the remaining ones. And this one would be the one sold. So we will be reporting 6,850 as the value of the inventory. Another approach to this, because so that we don't split it in the middle like 3A and 3B, we can just have 3, and then on this value, what we do is we put up 2 columns, quantity sold and quantity remaining. We were selling 550, so the remaining ones would go 1,250. So you see the allocation. We have 200, allocating 200 here, everything is sold, and then 300, and then here it is 50. We draw from here, so we allocate from top down, and then the remaining ones goes here, what is remaining, and everything is here. So we have 1,200, and we just go and multiply the prices. You multiply the prices, and you get the value of those that are sold. So this one, 200 times 5 is what? 1,000. And so on here, and so this one is 1,800 and 250. So you have a total of 3,050. This is called extended. Extended is the product of price times quantity. That's another word to refer to the amount. Sometimes we call it as an amount. So we have here 250, 900, 300. So this is 680. If you look at these approaches, the amount of the inventory left at the warehouse is 650. Let's look up. So it's the same approach, 6,850. 6,000. Let's look again here. This is different. This different. 6,600, because the total amount sold is what? The total amount sold here is 600 units. 600 units, right? Okay, so that is the FIFO approach. We will take up the second approach, the LIFO. The LIFO, the method is a reverse to the FIFO. Here, the materials received in the last lot are issued first by charging the newer price. This method is very useful where price fluctuation is not very high, when prices are stable. Okay, so let us check the spreadsheet for this. So we go to the LIFO. So we use the same example. Year 2020, and the unit prices and the quantity. At the warehouse, the count is 800, so these are the remaining ones, and sold is 1,800. How much is the value of 800 units? So first we have to sort first the data from Wednesday, January 1. Look here, it becomes now June, May, April, March, February, and then here we go 5, 6, 5, 4.5, and 6. We reverse, and this one also we reverse, and so we now multiply this value, because we sold 800, right? Or the remaining ones is 800, so we sold how much? We sold 1,000 units. See? We sold 1,000 units. So 400 plus 600, that's 1,000. So this is 1,000. That's the 1,000 units. And the remaining ones would be 800 units. If we go F2, that's D2, sum D2 to D26. So these are the remaining units, and you multiply this by the prices, you get 900, 500, 1, 8, and 1,000. So we now here you have the 4,200 as a value of the items inside the warehouse. If we go down, another approach to this, suppose instead of 600, we sold 1,000 units. Suppose we sold 500 units. So again, it's January, February. If we are going to use FIFO, we have to reverse it. We reverse. Here we split this item, the number PO number 5. We split because why? Because we sold 550. So 400 from the first item, from the last PO, and the second PO is 150, which was done on May, June, May, April, March, February. All right, so like that. And the second one remains 450, and you multiply this by the prices, and so we have this. And 150 times 5.5, we have 825. So we have 3,225. Those remaining is this. And so you add all of this. So the amount left at the warehouse is L46 to L50, 675. Sometimes breaking the PO in this way is confusing. So what we do, we don't split, but we use the standard 2-column. Sold here, we allocate, and then you allocate here the remaining. So here we have 400 and 150, that is now equal to 550. Extend this. And we have now 450, 200, like that. So now when you now compute 400 times 6, we have like this, an 825, 5.5 times 150, you have this amount. So you total them, 3,225. Here, you now multiply 450 times the unit price. And so you now have this amount, 245,900. So you have 6,675. So this is the LIFO. So the remaining value, the remaining items in the warehouse has the value of 6,675, which is this one, the one on the right. And lastly, for the tabular approach, which is approach number 1, HIFO, high price first. So essentially the same, except that instead of sorting by date, you sort based on price. High price first. So the data, suppose the remaining is 1,000 units. So you sold 800 units, right? If the remaining is 1,000 units, how much that is? The sold quantity is 800 units. So what is the value? What is the value of the 1,000 units there? If you are using high price first. So first, we now sort it based on this, and then we allocate now the items sold, or allocate upwards. So we have this upward. So now we have 1,000. The remaining one you goes here, because we have 600 here. So 500, and then 400 sold, 300 sold. So we have 800 here and 1,000. And then you multiply this by the price. So we have here 1,824,550, 4,750. And here it is 2,750, 5,150. So this is the value of the remaining stock in the inventory, 5,150. And so we have it here. So the remaining stock of 1,000 units has a value of 5,150. Okay, so this approach, the reason why we call it tabular is that the prices are coming in table format, and the quantities are in table format as well. We do not deal with it like a total of 1,000. We separate them. So it's called tabular, or sometimes it's called tabular approach, or sometimes we call it array approach. But for now, let us do away with the technicalities and just call it tabular. And on the second slide, we'll continue with the expected price or the average price.